What is up, everybody? RandomRandomMan here, bringing you my review for Room. The movie basically follows a young woman named Ma, played by Brie Larson, who, when she was a teenager, was captured and held in captivity in a 10 by 10 space, which is a shed in a backyard. And during her time being held hostage, she had a young son named Jack, played by Jacob Tremblay. And that's where I'm going to stop with the plot, because if I give anything else away, I would reveal the true wonders that this movie carries. Brie Larson is an actress I have grown very fond of over the past few years. She's one of my favorite actresses of this current generation, and I feel she is highly underrated. And I feel in this movie, she gives her best performance to date. You really get to see the psychology and just all the struggles that go in her head, having to deal with being in such a tight space with a young son. And she's very emotional. She is just powerless at times and really tries to make the best of a really horrible situation for herself and her young son. And that's where I move on to Jacob Tremblay. And if I thought that Larson was already phenomenal enough in this movie, Tremblay steals a lot of the thunder that Larson has in this movie. I cannot believe how amazing this young actor is. I believe he's about 7 or 8 years old, and wow, if this is his first acting gig, I wouldn't have noticed. This kid really speaks wonders in how great child actors can be when they're really well implemented, because a lot of the things that he has to encounter in this movie and just how he goes about day-to-day life within this room is just wonderful to see. I mean, the whole situation isn't wonderful, obviously, but just seeing this kid be fascinated by a lot of things and be curious about the world, even though he has not been exposed to it, is just something to really witness. The plot to this movie is just gripping. The movie is actually based off of a book written by Emma Donoghue, and fun fact, she actually adapted her own novel into a screenplay for this movie, which is always a nice plus for movies like these, because it shows how fateful the author wants to make their work be put onto the big screen whenever it is told in a narrative sense. And just the ways this movie makes you really feel inside. It's a truly heartbreaking and tugging movie at the heartstrings. I have to admit, there's more than a few times that I caught myself having to wipe my glasses because of how really tear-jerking this movie turns out to be. Stuff like this really does happen in real life. Young people are kidnapped and held in captivity for a long time without their parents knowing, or just anyone else in the world knowing other than the captor and their victims. By the end of the movie, of course, I've cried a bunch of times, but I just want to go up to any one of my parents and hug them really hard. It really will make you feel like you have to hold your loved ones really close, because it is that impactful. That being said as well, the less you know about this movie going in, the better, because the trailers will give a lot away, except for the very last scene of the movie, which is truly powerful. Lenny Abramson, the director, used such a right amount of seriousness in this movie to be taken with all of the things it has to offer. I seriously cannot think of any problems I have with this movie the more and more I think about it, because it is one of the most satisfying film experiences I've had all year. And this is what Oscar material is made of. I really hope this gets a bunch of awards attention during this upcoming Oscar season. And if it doesn't, I will be truly disappointed, because this is a necessary experience everyone has to take. It is pretty clear by now that I adore this movie to pieces. It is one of my absolute favorite movies of 2015 thus far, and I cannot recommend it more highly enough. My final verdict for Room is 5 out of 5 stars. Thank you all, as always, for watching. Be sure to like this video, comment on what you thought of Room, subscribe to my channel for more, and I'll catch you on the next movie review.